Laws of Morning Conduct, Hashkamat HaBoker 4:4. Dalid. V'zeh perush hapasuk hazeh. This is the meaning of the pasuk. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. Again, that the Rama brings down. Tehillim chapter 16, which, by the way, we're going to analyze this chapter in many of the verses in it. And just remember, this is one of the chapters of the Tikkun HaKlali, the 10 chapters. Hainu hasagot elokut kanal. Meaning, I place Hashem before me, and I have now the correct understanding of higher godly information. Ki mimini bal'mot, because from my right I will not stumble. Ki ikar binyan hamalchut, the way to build the malchut, chokhmah tata'a, which is again the lower chokhmah hanal, hu al yedei bechinat yamin shehu chesed. It's through the right, which is chesed. Chesed is the right and givurah is the left. So when it said mimini, from the right, I will not fall, because I built up the malchut and took it away from the sitra achra, so that's by the yamin, which is chesed. When we do chesed, that's how we take the malchut back from captivity. Also we say mi mino esh dat lamo, learning Torah, and Torah is from the right hand. Also means that when we learn Torah, and Torah the right way, that also helps the problem. Kimoshe katuv sham, like it says there, where we learned the Likutei Maran that's linked to this chapter. Ki al yedei chesed kotzrin ota meharba malchuyot. Because again, that's how you sever it from chesed. By chesed is how you sever it and cut it from those klipot, the 4 kingdoms. Now it's interesting, chesed and kotzrin, we know they go together by sefirat ha'omer, because you also have kitzirat ha'omer, the cutting of the omer, the cutting of the barley on the second day of Passover, and it starts chesed of chesed, and then givurah of chesed. So it's really the week of chesed, and that's when you start to kotzer. Just to see again the connection of cutting and chesed. Uma'alin ota el or hapanim, and you're then, once we save it from the evil, we're then going to raise it up to the level of or hapanim, meaning where we do understand the secrets of creation. The Hashem's face is shining. Sheb b'shalosh regalim, which is found in the 3 holidays, Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. Like we say, Yera'eh kol zechurecha et penei Hashem. Hashem's face will be seen by us on the holidays. Shehu bechinat simchat halev, which is the idea of being happy in the heart. Like we say, Yom Simchatenu, and it's all simcha on the Shalosh Regalim. Al yidei ha-mitzvot she'osin b'chol hashana v'chule ayen sham. And this is done through the mitzvot that we do during the year. So the holidays is different from the rest of the year, because during the year we're allowing or causing the face to shine, and on the holidays is when the face shines, Hashem's face shines on us. So that's the difference when we do mitzvot all year round or on the holiday. And the holiday has to do with, we said Hashem's face will shine really in Yemot HaMashiach. That's when we'll know everything clearly, the secrets. And we say the Shabbat that we have represents the 7,000th millennium, which is the Great Shabbat. And therefore the holidays is a step under Shabbat. So what's before the Great Shabbat is Yemot HaMashiach, which is still during the 6,000 years, which is in our time. Mashiach and the dead get up, Tichiyat HaMeitim, all come and go and finish by the year 6,000. Then 6,001, for 1,000 years, is called the Great Shabbat. So you see how it makes sense. The holidays is about Yemot HaMashiach, and Shabbat is about the Great Shabbat. So that's why we're relating that the Ora Panim, which comes in Yemot HaMashiach, like we said before, it also shines a little bit, or an aspect of it, even on the Shalosh Regalim. Not to dwell too much on this, but some people have said when they're in their sukkah, if you remember, or if you felt it, when you're in the sukkah, you just feel a little different than the rest of the week or the rest of the year. Something feels different. You feel holiness. There's something about it being in that sukkah. And the truth is, you're feeling what it feels like to be in Yemot HaMashiach. That's what it is. Shabbat's feeling is much greater. You're feeling what it's going to feel like to be in the great Shabbat. So you see, all these feelings are real. And it's showing what they relate to. And now Rab Natan continues more about the Pesukim in this chapter. Ve'zehu ki mi mini balamot. From the right I will not falter or stumble. Hainu al yedei bechinat yamin shu chesed. Because the right is chesed, like we said. Al yedei ze balamot, I will not fall. Al yedei ze lo emot velo epol. See, there's the word epol, I will not fall, because that's what it means. And fall where? B'sechli, in my sechel, in my intellect, alehem, to them, to like it says, chas v'shalom lebechinat chochmot chitzoniot, to the external or negative wisdoms that's out there. I will not fall into them. Chas v'shalom. Rak ezkeh leha'alot sechli. I will raise my sechel. I'll merit to do that. Ad she'ezkeh al yado. And by doing that, I'll merit lehasagot elokut, to the real understanding of godliness. Shehu bechinat shivit Hashem lenegdi tamid, which is what that phrase, I set Hashem before me, really represents. V'zehu lachen samach libi vayagel kevodi. More of the Pesukim. It says, therefore my heart will be glad, happy, and my soul or my kavod will rejoice. And there you have samach libi, like we said about the holidays. Ze bechinat simchat halev shel ha-mitzvot she'osin. This is the idea of the happy heart, that when we do the mitzvot, shezehu bechinat orach panim, which brings about the light of Hashem's face, shebeshalosh regalim, of the holidays, because again, simcha. Shemisham chiyut ha-malchut, that from this we're going to give and revive the malchut, again, take it out of captivity and bring it to the right place. Shehi bechinat kavod, which is the idea of kavod now we bring in. Because it said, Vayagel kevodi, bechinat melech hakavod, because it says the king of glory, of kavod. Vezehu, because that's how you, meaning you know the word malchut has to do with kavod, because it says melech hakavod, like we say in the Shir Shel Yom of Sunday. Veyavo melech hakavod. Vezehu lachen samach libi. Shehu or hapanim shel shalosh regalim. Again, these words from the Pesukim. Bechinat lev sameach yetiv panim. Again from Mishlei, another context saying a happy heart will give good to the face. And good means light to the face, meaning the face will light up on the holidays when the lev is sameach. Kemo shekatuv sham, like it says over there by Likutei Maharan and the other sources. Validei ze vayagel kivodi, and then you'll have that your glory or your kavod will rejoice. Shenimshach simcha v'chiyut lamalchut, that it will draw happiness and vitality to the malchut. Shehu bechinat kavod, which is the aspect of kavod. Now also, just to know, when it said melech hakavod, we have a phrase that we know. We say Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. So first of all, you see how the word Malchut, Melech HaKavod, because Kevod Malchuto, so you have those two words together. And also it's an idea of awareness. When we said Shema and God is one, and so to speak, we're aware of that, because Da is Hashem Echad, Shema is Ayin at the end, Shema, and then Leolam Va'ed is Dalid. It comes out to the word Da, and there are two big letters also in the Torah, which is also Ed. We're giving testimony, but after we give the testimony, we know the truth that God is one, and that's when we say Baruch Shem. So again, when the face is shining, it's a time of Melech HaKavod, and we say Baruch Shem, and again, Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'al yedei zeh, by doing this, Af besari yishkon labetach. Again, like the pasuk continues, my flesh will now dwell in comfort, in secureness, security. Shu basar haguf, that this is the flesh of the guf, because it's saying besari. Ki bishvil zeh nivra ha'adam. because this the man was created for, which means to perfect the body and even bring the body into good. Sheyibatesh gufo al yedei amal v'gi'ah b'torah u'mitzvot, which means again to discipline the body and to teach the body by doing the mitzvot. Ki adam le'amal yulad, like it says in Iyov 5, man was created to do work, and this work is ze amal Torah, to do Torah. Kemo shamru rabbeinu zal, like the rabbi say in Sanhedrin 99, Ki tzirichin la'amol b'torah v'avodah, a person has to toil and work in Torah and avodah service, which is either tefillah or avodah of the Beit HaMikdash, ulkadesh ultaher asmo kol kach, and he has to sanctify and purify himself so much, ad sheyizkeh, so that he'll merit leha'ir gam begufo, that even his body will light up and it will know he'arot, the understandings mehasagat elokuto yitbarach, of godliness, meaning light up in wisdom, so to speak, with godly information. So when we say we have to know truths of Hashem, it really means the neshama, the soul, and the guf, and the body, both of them have to know. In fact, who does the mitzvot over here? The truth is the body does it. The body does the mitzvot. That's why we're in the physical world with the physical body. The neshama knows the truth. It's the guf that wants to say, kochi ve'otzem yadi. It's my strength, and I'm the one that does everything. It's really the body that thinks it's God. So the body has a rude awakening or a lesson to learn. So the body is down here to do mitzvot. That's why the truth is this world is body world. It's not a world of souls. The souls are in the background of the body, and it's the body that has to do the mitzvot. It has to learn that it's not God, and that God is God. So the body will then learn the lesson when it does the mitzvot. It will know what the neshama always knows all along. So the body is the one that's learning down here. And that's why we said this is like body world over here. Ki atzadik hagadol ha'amiti, the great tzaddik of the generation, the true tzaddik, mesabev imanu besivuvim noraim kaele, ubtzimtzumim niflaim kaele. The great tzaddik, like we said in a couple of chapters before, or in the beginning of chapter 4, that you have to find the great tzaddik because he's going to know how to get you all the principles of godliness and show you how to understand it by lowering it down to our level. The great tzaddik knows how to do that and to make metaphors of them. So he knows how to go round about, misavev, round about the topic to teach you and to give you tzimtzum, to narrow it and to bring it down, so to speak, so that we can understand it. Ad sheya'ir banu, again, will light up hasagat elokut, of these divine information. Gam be'odenu begufenu, even while we're in our body. How are we going to learn something so lofty when they talk about the sefirot or this and that in our body where we have no relationship or understanding to such spiritual things? So it's always brought down to the earthy level as a metaphor in order to know it, and you need a great rabbi to know how to do that and to make that metaphor. Like we say, the Magid Meduvna, he would always make a mashal of an idea, and he knew how to think up those mishalim. Not easy. So that the body will also have an enlightenment from this and this knowledge. This is the main part of when saying we want to be shalem, complete, whole, complete. This is the main thing that the body has to know also. Lehodia gam lehaguf, mekol ha'arot, from all the godliness, light, and information, vasagot, sheneshama masaget, that the neshama knows. Kemo shekatuv b'Torah, like it says in Likutei Maran 22, chotam betoch chotam, that Rabbeinu Zal explains over there concerning the topic. V'zeu b'chinat af b'sari yishkon labetach. And that's what it means. Even my flesh will again dwell in security. Also yishkon, meaning you'll have the Shekhinah, the guf will have the Shekhinah. Af b'sari, my basar, yishkon, and labetach, like bitachon. Meaning it knows the truth of God and it has great bitachon. That's really what the pasuk is saying. Now, just to show an example of when we say a rabbi or a tzaddik can help you lower information that is high and make it understandable, I want us to listen to a small clip from Rabbi Mendel Kessin, Shlita, on how he explains a certain concept.
It's the greatest thing ever made, the neshama. You see, everything else is a product of divine energies. You see, but it is not identical to the spheres. We are. You see, that's what it means by Shekhinah, which is God, the Torah, which are the spheres, and Yisrael, the neshama. Right? That's what really who Yisrael is. Right? Is identical. Because all of them are really part and parcel of a chelek lekamimal, you see. But it's a mystical concept and so on. But what we begin to understand is the soul of man is so great that it is the greatest product ever made, because it is a expression or an extension in physical form of the spheres. That's what it means, and so on. And that also says that the creation itself, after man, is nothing more than an extension of us. So you don't realize, but the creation is really you, extended. That's why when you do things, there's a whole area of physics called the anthropic principle, you see, where your consciousness creates phenomena, you know, and not only that, in other words, the universe knows what you know, and it adapts itself to your knowledge. The anthropic principle. Anthros means man. In other words, the universe adapts itself, right, to the consciousness of man. And by the way, that's now a theory in physics, that consciousness creates everything. The question is how? And the answer is that because the universe is really an extension of you. Interesting. And therefore, the greatest aspect of the universe, the essential aspect of the universe, creation, that extends from you is Eretz Yisrael. See, that's essentially who you are. So therefore, Eretz Yisrael is part of that identicality, which is interesting. Give me an example. You know, just one example, right? If a person speaks Lashon Hara, so he gets suras, which is not leprosy, but it is a skin disorder, or skin discoloration, then it becomes tamei. He has to leave the encampment and so on, you know. But you notice he doesn't get it right away. His house gets it. This suras habayis. You know, the house actually becomes sick, right? Now, if he keeps talking Lashon Hara, right, then his clothing gets it. Yes, that's suras big day of begodim. Just look in the Torah, you know. And if he keeps speaking Lashon Hara, for instance, right, then he gets it, comes on his skin. So the question is, what does the guy have to do with his house? Right? What does he have to do with his house or his clothing? And the answer is, that is the secret of possessions. When you own something, you don't realize that that is part of you. Its possessions is part of you. It's an ontological relationship. It's not a legal situation. Well, I own something so nobody can steal it. No. That thing that I own, possessions, is really part of me. You see? And therefore, if you steal it, you are stealing part of me. In other words, what the Torah says is that your possessions, and that's why possessions is so important, you know, to a person, you know, is really an extension of your physical being, of your neshama. It's an extension of you, what you own. Therefore, if you talk Lashon Hara, right, and if I'm saying that your possessions is part of you, that's why it hits your house. Because when it hits your house, it's really hitting you extended. If you can't talk Lashon Hara, then it hits your clothing, because your clothing are really you extended. And then finally it'll hit your skin, because that certainly is you see? We don't realize that we are the creation. Not that there is a creation independent of us. We are the creation, you see, but we don't understand how. That explains many ideas in physics, and as a result of that, we create. We are the creation, you see. And therefore, when we do a mitzvah, what do we misaken? What do we rectify? We rectify God's presence in the world. We rectify ourselves, our souls, but we also rectify creation. That's why creation will change by the Mashiach. It's called Zikuch. How in the world does creation become transparent? The concept of purifying, where all the material matter is removed. How? Because it's not something we do for creation, it's something that we do for ourselves. And automatically when we have Zikuch, creation will have Zikuch, because that is an extension of the Neshama.
And the Pasuk in Tehillim continues, V'zehu ki lo ta'azov nafshi lish'ol. Hashem, you do not leave me to go into the Sheol, into the grave, but it really means a level of the Sitra Achra in that sense. And Hashem saves us from there. Now it says, Nefesh hu b'chinat malchut kayadua. It says he saves our soul, nefesh, nafshi lish'ol. Nefesh is the bottom rung of the 5 parts of our soul. Nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. And so malchut, which is the bottom rung of the sefirot, corresponds to nefesh. So it's playing on the word that, saying that it's again the malchut that he's saving. Hainu bechinat chokhmat hata'a kanal, which again is the lower form of chokhmah, the metaphors and that, which is the malchut. V'zeh ki lo ta'azov nafshi l'sh'ol, again that you won't leave me to the she'ol. Shelo yipol chelkei ha'malchut sheli, that those parts of the malchut sheli won't fall. Bechinat chokhmah tata'a sheli, which is again the chokhmah tata'a of me. Shehi bechinat nafshi lo ta'azov l'sh'ol, that again playing on that pasuk. He's just putting it all together, wrapping them all together to show the unity of these ideas. Rav Natan Zal. Chas v'shalom. Shehem ha'chokhmot chitzoniot. Because again, when it says the sh'ol, it means now from those negative wisdoms, outer wisdoms of the goyim, of the peoples of the world. Shehem ha'sitra achra, which is the sitra achra ve'akelipot. Shechotrim l'tgaber bechol et. That they're always trying to win over all times on a person's soul, al nefesh ha'adam, shehu sichlo, which again is his intellect. They're trying to work us at our brain level and our consciousness level. Shetzarich lavo al yado lehasagot elokut v'chanal. That with this sechel, we need the sechel in order to reach the godly understandings and godly heights. So we don't want it to be put down in the dumps, and then we don't use it for the right thing. So we have to keep our sechel intact. Aval ani batuach ki lo ta'azov nafshi lish'ol. Meaning the pasuk, David HaMelech is saying he's sure, he's confident in Hashem that he won't let him go again to the Sheol, which is a word of Gehinam really, into the pits. Ki lo titen chasidecha lirot shachat. Again, the pasuk says, because you won't let your chasid also see the Gehinam, the shachat. Now, what does the chasid have to do with us? Maybe the chasid won't see the shachat, but maybe we will. But he explains like this: chasidecha, your chasid, Hashem, ze bechinat harabbi hatzadik haemet. This is the tzaddik of the generation, the true tzaddik. Of course, there's many tzaddikim in a generation, but it's all connected to the one tzaddik, who really would be the candidate to be Mashiach. I mean, that's who it would be. if it would be the time for it. And it says, ha'osek betikuno, that he is involving himself in the tikkun of the other guy, meaning of the people. So you see the tzaddik haemet, he's helping everybody to reach their tikkun as he can, however that works. Everyone has free will, of course, but there's ideas to explain about that. And it says, Ushebizchuto, because in his merit, v'kocho, and his power, not that he has power, Hashem has power, but his power of prayer and his power of doing mitzvot in a high way, that's what brings the power. Ani batuach, I am certain that kilo ta'azov nafshi l'shol, you won't abandon my soul. Kilo titzen chasidecha, because you won't let the chasid, shehu harabi tzaddik haemet, which is the tzaddik, lirot shachat, to see the Gehinam, the Shachat. He won't see it, which means he won't see me in it. Kedei shehu lo yireh hashachat, shelo yitzarech lirot u'hustakel l'sham b'chol et, v'halotenu misham, to take us up from there. So by me not going to the Sheol, it's helping the tzaddik, because now he doesn't have to go fetch me out of there and go there to do it. So it is helping the Hasid. So we're saying, we're sure that because Hashem, you're going to not let the Hasid go to Gehinam, that's going to save us as well. Of course, it doesn't mean we can all sin and just expect the tzaddik to do everything. It just means on some level, if you need a little bit more something, he can maybe sometimes pull us out. Just like David HaMelech, he pulled out his son, Avshalom, from the 7 levels of Gehinam. So what does that mean? If he deserved it, he should have been there. If he didn't deserve it, he would have came out. So how could David do anything? It's true. It's a wide area of Torah that we have to study and see how does a tzaddik not interfere with people's free will. It is a longer discussion than for just now. But just know there is a principle of that the tzaddik can help people get out of situations. And again, it's because of his zechut. There's a zechut somewhere. But of course, it doesn't mean that the other guy is free to do what he wants. Ki im chas v'shalom ehyeh b'shol v'shachat, if I would be into the sheol and the shachat, bevadai yeh tzaddik harabi haemet, certainly this tzaddik would mistakel sham b'chol et b'tzar gadol. Anytime he'd look there, meaning to look at me there, he'd be in terrible pain. Kedei la'alotenu misham, in order to get us out. So you'd be making him suffer by me being in there. Ki hu osek betikuni b'chol et. He's involved in helping me make my tikkun at all times. Another idea, because the tzaddik is connected to us, sometimes his actions can also do things for us. Not that it gets us off the hook again. But because of that connection, now some religions, as we know, they said that tzaddik, who they think is the tzaddik, he can make a kapara for everybody's sins. Anyone can do whatever they want, and because he suffers, he makes up for everybody. That's not the way we believe. It's not a free-for-all. So again, there's a balance, and we have to know how that works. And also in a klali, general way, and in a prati, everyone in their own individual lives, how it may work if a tzaddik is going to help you. And what does that mean? Did you get away with something or not? This has to be discussed. But there's no freebie like the other religions, one in particular that they say. Ve'alken bizchuto ve'kocho, because of his zechut and koach, like we said, ani batuach ki lo ta'azov nafshi l'shol, kidei shelo titen chasidecha, shu hatzadik haemet lirot shachar. So he puts the pasuk together in this way. So he's saying, I'm certain that you won't leave me to the Sheol, in order that you won't let the Chasid see the Sheol. And that's how the pasuk flows. When you're saying the Tikkun HaKlali, because we said this is part of it, you could think of it in that way. Vezehu, and now it says, Todi'eni Orach Chaim, Sova Semachot et Panecha, the last pasuk. Shetodi'eni ha'orach ve'aderech lavo l'chaim amitiyim. Because of all this, that the tzaddik helped me, and of course I did the right thing, and I didn't let my sechel go to the dumps and the 4 kingdoms and all this type of stuff. Now I'm going to merit to have happiness, sova semachot et panecha. Again, panecha like or panim, like we said. and we're going to have Chaim, life, להמשיך חיות, להחיות את בחינת המלכות, and give life again to this malchut and raise it up. חוכמת התאה, which is the חוכמת התאה, שהוא על ידי אור הפנים שבשלוש רגלים. Again, we mentioned the אור הפנים, so we mentioned the שלוש רגלים, that's when it comes out. שהוא בחינת שמחת הלב, which is שמחה, בחינת שובע שמחות את פניך. וכולי כנ"ל. See, the pasuk is wrapping up all that, because it says שמחות, it says panecha, and it's showing this whole idea of this Torah, of this Likutei Halacha that we learned, all showing from that Mizmor of Mechtam LeDavid. And again, teaching us that one of the main lessons we need to know is to find and attach ourselves, like it said in the beginning, and seek, look out for that Tzaddik Emet. And he'll help us to learn the metaphors for higher learning, because he'll know how to do it. Now it's interesting, we see Rabbi Kessin seems to know how to do it. I would assume that he is of the Tzaddikei Emet, to say the Tzaddik Emet, I guess nobody knows that. But to be one of the Tzaddikei Emet, certainly if he's the one explaining, or he's one of many rabbis, I guess, who know how to explain higher concepts by giving us things down to earth level, that would make him a tzaddik emet. That's just a room for thought, and of course, my personal opinion.